what I hope is right in the middle of a great big long fast. And I just want to share my experiences so far. And as it goes on over the next, I hope, couple of days, just share my experiences as to what's happening and just to put it out there because it seems a big part of when you're doing a fast is you watch videos about fasting and the benefits of it. Now, it's my experience that each one of these people that I'm watching, it's either like just AI, which I just turn straight off, or the amount of people that I've watched now and they just throw out Masonic hand signs. It's not funny. And you see very few just normal testimonies of people who are trying to sell something or have got an angle or just doing somebody else's fast and all that. And what I'm doing is Brett Wilson's fast, and I am only having water, black coffee, and green tea, salt, and pepper. I tried to find potassium, but I can't find any potassium around here. That's got zero calories. But I'm going to Tuggerah tomorrow, and there's a health food shop in there, and I might pop in and just see if they've got something around that, because everything's flavoured, everything's got, I don't know why they have to put glucose in it. No bone broth. I think that's the one food that's closest to the closest you can get to having while fasting. But no, it's got calories, and I'm being guided just by putting things into the AI into Google, see what it says, cross-referencing it, having a bit of a look. Like, I just watched something there where the guy said coffee could be a little bit iffy, so I just whacked in the benefits of, like, how does black coffee break a fast? And it says no, it doesn't break the fast because it has virtually no calories, sugar or fat, so it doesn't trigger an insulin response or digestion. But it's got these words like is generally okay, and it's got virtually no calories. So I think what I might do, just, does black coffee have calories? Yes. See, it's interesting. 2 to 5 calories per 8-ounce cup, but it comes from trace amounts of protein and oil in the bean, so it's considered virtually calorie free and won't significantly impact. So it's interesting, how is coffee zero? So that's how I'm being guided, and I didn't think to check this because I reckon I had before, but there you go, and that's sort of what I'm doing. So I think some suggest a moderate intake. So if something's got no calories, there should be no restriction, but that could be not because of the fast. That could be because of, you can have your palpitations and things like that. And you come down in here and it says you can drink moderate amounts during fasting periods at very few calories, and it's unlikely to break your fast. And that's sort of the spirit of what I'm doing here. You come into this and you look at that, and I think next time I do it, I might even really consider, because I think it'd be good for me to have a day or two away from any sorts of coffee as well. So that's sort of where I'm coming from. That's the spirit of what I'm doing. And why am I doing this? So I 2 years ago, pretty much to the day, 2 years ago, I went on a weight loss adventure, and it's been 2 years down the line. It's just been absolutely incredible where it's all led me. I've now gone from eating a lot of sugar, a lot of seed oils, to just being completely oblivious, thinking I've got some sort of idea about health, to just being now in a very strict whole food diet. I haven't had anything that's not a whole food in months, and nor do I want it now. And when I say strict, it's not because it's hard and it needs discipline. It does sometimes, you see somebody eating a meat pie. I love meat pies, I love hot dogs, I love hamburgers, pizza, all that sort of stuff. But it's not, white bread rolls used to be my weakness, but I've managed to overcome all that now. It's strict, but it's a pleasure. I eat food. I don't eat anything I don't like. And I found myself now I'm eating vegetables because I make up this green juice and I mix it in, and kefir's become a staple of my diet. I make all my own here, and I've become a real, person that just makes all of my own food here at home. It's been absolutely terrific. And just what next? You know, what am I going to do next? I've been thinking about. I want to rejig my diet a little bit. I want to potentially. So I lost like over 20 kilos through 16/8 intermittent fasting, high protein, low carbs. That's what got me on my way. And now I've sort of transformed into a low carb, sort of high fat diet, and I am conscious of protein, but I don't go overboard like the gym bros say that you should. And I just sort of, okay, what's next? I want to really, my record is 50 hours, and I've only done that once, and I've done 24 hours, I think 3 times, and I've done 16/8 about 180 times when I was actively losing weight. So I want to really know how it feels, and today's been really, really interesting, and I want to know sort of how it makes me feel inside, what I learn about myself, and the benefits that I may get from it, and really, really analyse the journey. And that's where I'm sort of a little bit kicking myself that I didn't do this video when I first started. But anyway, it's all good. And plus, I've recently had really, really bad eczema, and I have 6 months it went on, and I went to a dermatologist, and he diagnosed it. A sister here that comments from time to time on my page, she sent me an email sharing her experiences, and the big takeout from that was just don't scratch, and you will get through it. And also, when I got the diagnosis, a part of walking in Christ is you really dig deep. You really dig deep, and you don't hide from the truth. You don't hide. You want the truth. You want the truth no matter what. And I found here that I wasn't getting enough sun. In fact, I wasn't getting any sun, and I was actively trying to avoid it because I just want to come home and work on the videos, and I just want to be left alone. Complicated head, all that sort of stuff. And I found that I Googled. I went, all right, does direct sunlight help with eczema? And the search came up with something like, not directly, but the lack of vitamin D does. So then I started getting sun. I've now been doing that for about a month. I've been outside getting a lot of sunshine, and it's fixed the eczema. I was going to say pretty much eczema free. I am eczema free. I no longer have eczema, and right now I'm in a confident position to say that I've kicked it. But that's not saying that it won't come back. So I'm not scratching. I'm getting sunlight, and I'm rubbing aloe vera on myself at regular intervals, and it's worked. It's worked. A part of doing fasts, the theory is you get a full body reset, and when you get into, I think, day 3, like 48 to 72 hours, you start to have a bit of a real immune system reset. And I just heard someone say there that after 72 hours, you start to produce like new stem cells, and that can help heal injuries and things you got wrong with you and all that. Your body actually starts producing stem cells, and it's going to heal things that are broken. So it's the benefits of it are just so insanely intense, So I'm doing it. So whereabouts am I? So it's now, as I put down this part of this video, it's now Friday over, and it's just going on 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I started at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. So I'm like about an hour short of 48 hours, and my record is 50 hours. I did that pretty much right on 2 months ago. So at 9 o'clock tonight, in about 3 hours, I'm due to surpass my record. So when I wake up tomorrow, I generally wake up, I sleep 7 to 3 o'clock, and 7 at night, 3 in the morning. So when I wake up tomorrow morning at 3 o'clock, I'll be like coming up to like 56 hours. I'll be like 56 hours or something. Is that right? How's my maths? 54 hours. Yeah, 56. Yeah, 56 hours. And then you hit the 2.5 days at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. And how am I feeling? It's been, for me, day two's the hard one. It was last time as well. Because I eat well now, and I don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, and I eat no processed food, I eat no multiple ingredients food. Anything that's got multiple ingredients is because I've mixed single ingredient foods together here at home, like, kefir with blueberries and papaya and mangoes and oranges and just things like that, And I love to mix here. I've come up with a thing recently. I saw it on the internet where you mix prunes, water and flaxseed together, and that's unreal. Makes you go to toilet. It's unreal. Whole food, you mix them together, And because I'm on that whole food diet now, I don't crave sugar at all. I've got no desire for it, none whatsoever. I wouldn't even know now what it's like to crave sugar. It's completely foreign to me now. And it suppresses hunger. It's a fact. I am living proof that it's a fact. If you cut down on your carbs, your refined sugars and stuff, your appetite just goes through the floor. And take it from someone who loves to eat as much as the next person, right? You literally don't have an appetite. You don't want to eat, like back before, I could be full and still wanted to eat, but now I'm just always full and I just don't want to eat. In fact, I'm flat out getting all my nutrients in each day. So I found day one, it's not hard at all. It's just breaking the habit. It's breaking habits. So you sit down and you have lunch at this time, you have dinner at this time, you have a bone broth at this time, generally, I have my mixed nuts at this time. And I found yesterday was difficult breaking that habit. And it's funny, today it wasn't difficult. I haven't found it difficult at, the time that I eat my lunch and my dinner and I have my bone broth. I haven't found that difficult at all. And this is where the green tea and the coffee are just so good, they're just so good. You sit down and you never ever thought that you would enjoy a green tea that much before. Your heart really starts to become fond of those simple things, I can tell you. And I put what's it called? I put salt and pepper in it, salt and pepper. And green tea with salt and pepper, man, it is absolutely delicious. My black coffee, I just have that normal, and very weak, very, very weak. Like I have half a level teaspoon, if that. It's very weak coffee. I've always, for the last few years, I've been having my coffee quite weak. What I'm finding though, so today's been really, really hard, and I was down at my parents there before. I had to help them out with some legal stuff, and I said to Mum, I am grotesquely hungry, Mum. Like, I could eat a horse right now. I am so hungry. It is not funny, I said, but it's all part of it. And that's what I'm trying to observe. Well, I am. I'm actively observing what's happening here and how I'm feeling through it, and not seeing being hungry as a bad thing. It's just part of it. Just observe it, right? Just observe it. I'm fine. I know I will be fine. I'm doing this pretty well, pretty well. I'm not saying it's not hard, not for a minute. It is hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Even if you get no health benefits, for me, it's worth it because you find out all of these things about yourself, right? Through food. It's quite incredible. Another thing that I know that I do, so if you're listening, right, you probably would have picked up there before that I've started this fast at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, and I go to bed at 7 o'clock. Right? Now that's the truth. A big part of my personality, when I was a kid, I would have vegetables on my plate, and I might have mashed potato on my plate. My mum made the best mashed potato, right? I would always eat the mashed potato last, vegetable first. I've always been like it. I always do the things I don't want to do first, that I can do the things that I enjoy later, right? And it's the same with eating. So if I keep putting it off, it means I haven't It's the classic, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? And I take that to the extreme. That cake's gone, I can't eat it anymore. But while it's still there, I can eat it. And it's a real problem for me. It works well in some ways, but it's a real problem for me in others. Like when I'm doing the gym, I've been doing gym for over 25 years and I don't overly like doing it anymore, right? So when the time comes around to do it, I just want to get it over and done with quick smart, right? That it's out of the way. Things I don't like, I like them out of the way. Things I do like, I like to put them off. Like when I used to drink, right? When I used to drink, I would have 10 beers in the fridge and I would go, it's not enough. It's not enough because I have one and I'm like, oh God, I've only got 9 left. And then you have another one, it's like, oh, 8 left. I can see the end. I can see the end, you know. But if I have to do 8 gym workouts, 10 gym workouts, I'd get to the end of the first one, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I've still got 9 to go, you know. And I'm really finding that out with this fasting. Things that I deep down knew before, I'm finding out due to this. I've got to fix my eating pattern big time, right? I've got to stop. I want to start, and this is a vow. If I take anything out of that fast, that's what I've got to do. And I've been kidding myself that I can't fit it all in because I don't eat much, but I'm also out a lot and I can't eat when I'm out because all you can get is rubbish. It's very hard to get like whole foods as a snack while you're out, right? That aren't just carbohydrate food. Like you can get sweet corn's lovely, just raw corn. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's loaded with carbs, you know. Same with apples and oranges and things like that. And I'm very particular with my nutrients because I match my nutrients with what my blood tests and my profile's showing and all that, right? And how I feel and all the rest of it, and my gym, getting my protein in and all that. And I've known all along, all I've got to do, get this, everything that I just said about pushing things back that I want, right? The solution is that meal that I'm having at 6 o'clock at night, I've got to move it to 6 o'clock in the morning. Because me being me, I don't eat anything in the morning, but I eat everything in the afternoon. Like I have a big bowl of kefir at 3 o'clock and I go to bed at 7 and then I have my lamb's heart and my beef and my 2 rissoles, homemade rissoles. I have them at 6 o'clock and then I have my turmeric, my golden turmeric, golden bevy. I have that after that. And then I have a square of chocolate, of cacao chocolate, and then I go to bed on a full stomach. Stupid, right? Somebody who's trying to be self-conscious, it's stupid. And I've realised all of this, I'm able to admit it to myself now and on a video publicly due to this fast. And a thing that I learned today is I'm never in the moment. I'm never in the moment. I've known this for a long, long time. And today I've realised just how far I've got to go with this. What do I mean? So when I go on my walk of a morning, I go on a walk every morning. When I go on my walk of a morning, I pray because I drive down to my walk. It seems weird, yes, I know, but if I was to walk to the start of my walk, I would walk there and back. It's like 2.5 Ks there and back, right? And you're walking across busy traffic. Like, I don't like walking where there's cars. It does my head in. And there's a beautiful walkway down there. I'm blessed to live right on lakes, just down there. And there's this walkway, you walk around the lake and it's absolutely beautiful. And that's where I go. So every morning when I drive down there, I pray on the way back. And then when I pray, when I go out every day and when I come home as well. And I say to the Holy Spirit every morning, I say, if I can just get through to this time tomorrow, I'll be at this point. And I keep thinking to myself, if I can just get there, like if I can get to the end of this time tomorrow, I've hit 3 days, and that's the goal. That's the goal. So anything I do over tomorrow night, and it's 7 o'clock, right? So if I make it through to the end of tomorrow, I will wake up the next day at 80 hours. And then I'm thinking, well, yeah, at 80 hours, you may as well go for 100, you're so close to 100. And then I go, you're only coming up to 48, bro, and you're thinking about 100, right? And what I come up with today is I'm earning the right to go into day 3. So today is day 2, and today, by completing today, I'm earning the right to get into tomorrow. I earned the right to do day 2 today, yesterday, when I did day 1. I earned the right to do day 1 by committing to myself that I'm going to do this, staying in the moment. So I'm just over an hour, right on an hour away now when I go to bed, to officially earning the right to do day 3. And that's a big thing that I've learned also. And also today, I found, I don't know whether it's because they say it on the videos or not, I don't know. But I said to Mum earlier that I was really, really hungry. And I said to her, look, it's time for me to go. I've got to go. I think I need a change of environment. I said, no offense. I said, I think I just need to get up, go for a drive, and I need to break things up. And it worked. I went over to the shops, had myself a black cuppa, and it's broken things up. And then I've come back home here and I've finished up the video. But what I found here this afternoon, even though I'm still really, really hungry, and I'm hoping tomorrow that might subside. A lot of the videos say it does subside, but they say it happens after, like, the first day's the bad one and the second day it comes good. You know, for me it's been the opposite. Yesterday was fine because I've got a good diet anyway. So I don't, as I say before, the whole food diet, low in carbs, you just don't get hungry, you know. So the first day for me wasn't easy. It was just, like I say before, it was just the change of routine and all that. But it hit me about this time last night. I got real hungry this time last night. And in fact, I found it really, really difficult to nod off to sleep with that hunger. So it's going to be a challenge tonight as well. But I'm super hungry all day. I have been hungry all day, right? It's quite insane. And earlier I started to get really foggy and really, my eyes go funny they go really, really blurry when I do a fast, and they can take months before they recover. Last time, they still haven't recovered yet. And in fact, I'm really feel as though I'm risking it when I do it this time, but maybe it might have the opposite effect. So far, so good. They're not too bad. They're suffering a little bit. They're a little bit worse than when I started, maybe, but maybe not. They're very, very close to a lot better than last time. It's not really having that impact. So I'm hoping tomorrow that hunger isn't as bad. But what I found here this afternoon is that I'm just full of energy. I'm absolutely full of beans. I have got so much done today on the video, where in fact that video that I've just uploaded, in fact it's finished. So I've just got to, while I sit here, because if I don't squash this now, it's not going to be ready to be uploaded tonight. In fact, I think I've already missed that bus, but anyway, not to worry. I've come home and finished that video, this afternoon, and I am just, because I'm just full of beans. I've just got all of this energy that I don't normally have when I'm at home here working on the videos. It's quite incredible, and I feel focused. I'm not looking on the internet, and I'm not losing that focus on the video. I've got so much done today. I had plans. I just wanted to get it all done by the time I go out tomorrow, and it's 5 o'clock and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, you may as well record. You may as well do this video that you've been wanting to do about fasting. So I feel sharp while feeling a bit foggy and also really, really hungry, but I feel like better. I feel cleaner. I feel brushing your teeth's weird. That's really, really weird. It's just clean, you know, really, really clean. I've stopped going to toot pretty well. That stopped first time today. I generally go a couple of days to get into detail, you know, a couple of times a day, but that's stopped. And I'm locked in. As I say, I'm just seeing the hunger as an opportunity. That's not the right word, but I'm seeing the hunger as more of it's just a part of it, you know? It's just a part of it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's really, you know what you've got. You know who you are, and you know the stuff you've made of, you know? And it's really, really good for that. You really, really, it's good. It's good, like, it's Friday afternoon and I haven't eaten since Wednesday. And that becomes really, really interesting tomorrow, Saturday tomorrow, and I could say I haven't eaten since Wednesday. And that's the thing. You get through tomorrow, but I got to get through today, It's really, really easy. Really, really easy. I used to play golf, and this is my main problem in golf, was I was never in the moment. So it's teaching me that. Just keep going today. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the moment. And earn the right to do it again tomorrow. So as I say, I'm almost at 48 hours, and I'll just see how tomorrow goes. But if I make it to the end of tomorrow, I'll try and do another video at around about this time, because hopefully I won't need time to make or eat dinner. But if I'm good to my word, I would have already had dinner by now, because it's now 6 o'clock, and normally I'm sitting down eating dinner, ready to go to bed now. It's not good, right? It's not good. It's not good. And this fast has caused me to finally admit that. And now, me being me, having to do all the good things later, so doing all the things I don't want to do first, such as not eat, I do early in the morning, that I can eat late, and it's completely counterproductive as I'm going to bed with my digestive system in full cry, So I'm going to sleep with my digestive system just at its absolute peak. It's no good. It's no good. But feeling good, feeling motivated. So hopefully I'll be back in 24 hours with some more success and hopefully some interesting updates with how I'm feeling and how it's all progressing. So we meet again. It's 24 hours later. It's now 6 o'clock the next day. It's another Saturday where we give thanks. It's the 13th of December at 6 o'clock in the Arvo. Here on the New South Wales Central Coast, so in 1 hour's time, yes, I will have made it to 72 hours. I'm hungry. I'm really, really hungry. Other than that, I feel good. I've been drinking my green tea, and I bought this salt today. I feel like I said this yesterday, but I may have said it in the video. I bought this salt called Diet Light Salt. And it's the closest thing I can get to potassium without ordering it in on the internet, which I may very well do. I'm going to have a bit of a look for that, because the more I learn about this, the more I'm seeing where magnesium, salt and potassium is so important. I'm taking a magnesium capsule each morning. I've sussed it out. There's no calories in it. And I'm taking an iron one as well, because I've got a problem with iron. It's a bit low. So while I'm not eating, I'm going to have an iron supplement. And I'm also trying to get my vitamin D up, because that's going to fix the eczema, I hope. That's the gateway I feel to healing the eczema. With the sunshine, I'm getting a lot of sunshine at the moment as well. And I'm drinking a lot of water, a hell of a lot of water, heaps and heaps of water. So much so it's a real problem at night time. But today, it's funny, I was praying on the way down to the park this morning on my walk, and I said to the Holy Spirit, I said, I'm definitely not shooting for 7 days here. I'm not just shooting for 7 days. And then I said to myself, I said, why? Said in prayer to myself, because we're praying to the inner man, we're praying to the Holy Spirit within. Why limit myself? And then I'm like, stay in the moment. So I retracted that. 7 days isn't out of the question. But I'm now arriving at 72 hours, which was the initial goal when I first set out. So the first goal was just to start, get to 24 hours, and then get to 36. 36 it's a big fast. It's a big deal, 36 hours. And then hit the 50, which was the record. And I've done that, and I've smashed that record now. I'm pretty well 24 hours after that record now. And I wake up tomorrow, and at 7 o'clock, I'm halfway to 7 days. But what I've done today is earned the right to shoot for 100 hours tomorrow. Now, for me, that's a big deal. 100 hours is a big deal. So tomorrow I wake up and I'm doing day 4. Day 4 starts in an hour's time. Day 4. So today I've earned the right to get to shoot for 100 hours tomorrow. Get to the end of the day at 7 o'clock. That's 96 hours, 4 days. And then I'll be asleep at 11 o'clock when I hit those 100 hours. And that's sort of become, over the last day or so, that's become the new goal, because I was going to sit down in front of my friend Alex down at the shops on Monday, and it was my plan to break the fast in front of him with some bone broth and some mixed nuts. That's what I'm craving most at the moment, is bone broth, mixed nuts, and peanut butter. Super crunchy peanut butter. I'm really, really craving that. When I say craving, it's just, I'm thinking it. I'm thinking it from time to time. But it's not so much a craving, but just that feeling of super crunchy peanut butter. It is so nice. It's just the nicest food. And I got myself addicted to it over 2-3 years ago, and I've stopped it. I've managed to beat it. But it's always there. But I've had it a few times since, and I haven't gone back to it, so that's good. But the way I feel now, 7 days is 168 hours. And I said this morning, I thought to myself this morning, I feel like 100 hours is the gateway to a week. It's the gateway. 100 down, 68 to go. The way I feel at the moment, if this hunger subsides, right now I'm gunning for a week. But I don't want to be overly bold with that, because I don't want this at all to be a letdown or a failure. But I know before I die, I simply must do a 7-day fast. This is an incredible experience, an incredible experience. And the bone broth will be done tomorrow. I'm down to just the last little bit. I crunch up the bones. I get out there with a hammer and I bang them to submission. And this is that last one where you drain out every last piece of marrow from it. And also the bones, you pulverize them to dust. And that's what you're drinking in that last piece of bone broth. So that'll be done tomorrow. So the smell of that will go away. And the kefirs in the fridge. And I've pulled out my coffee, pepper, salt, and diet light salt, the potassium salt. I put them on the bench, so there's no need to open the cupboards at all. And after I finish this bone broth, because you put it in the fridge to make it go to jelly, and after I've done that, I'm going to have no need to open that fridge, bar from changing my water bottle, because I'm drinking heaps of water, but I've got big blocks of ice in the freezer, so I can just do it out of the tap. But tomorrow's going to be hot, so that hot water's going to be hot. What I'm saying is that I've got no need now to open those cupboards. They stay closed, because that's what set me off with mixed nuts. I saw the mixed nuts I was planning to have on Thursday, but I started the fast instead. They're still up there, and it really, really set me off. But I feel like now I've earned the right today to shoot for 100 hours. So tomorrow I'm earning the right to walk through the gateway into a realm that I never thought, didn't even dream of on this fast. And this is how I go. I start off small, and then I achieve, and I think to myself, why not keep going? Like, I wake up tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'll be up at 3, but at 7 o'clock, I'll be halfway to 7 days. And then I think to myself, I'll be sitting in front of my friend Alex a day after that, And that 3.5 days is now down to 2.5, which is a very, very different equation indeed. So tomorrow's a significant day. And the way I feel right now, if I'm sitting here tomorrow, I've decided I'm not going to upload this video unless I get to 100 hours. And at the moment, something significant. Even if I feel hungry all day tomorrow, I know I've got another day in me with that. Because I really, really want to get to 100 hours now. I'm so, so close. And that's beautiful number 2 because it doubles my previous record. But 100 hours comes up at 11 o'clock at night and I wake up at 3 and I've got no intention of breaking the fast until I at least see my friend Alex at 7 o'clock. So that'll be more like 108 hours. So that's where I'm at. It's just the hunger. It's just the hunger. I saw the lady today at Tuggerah. I said, guess what? I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday, but I saw her. This last time I fasted, I was only about 21 hours in. And I told her I was fasting because she asked me how my day was and she seemed genuinely interested. And I saw her today. She was there. That was the first stage. I've been really setting myself to see that lady today. It's been a real source of motivation for me. As is tomorrow, I see my mother tomorrow. I spend my normal Sunday morning tomorrow with my mother, so I'm looking forward to telling her that I'm still going and freaking her out. And then the motivation after that is to see my friend Alex. And after that, I've just got this 7-day just sitting there as a real carrot, you know. And this is the thing with staying in the moment, you know. Because if I was 100% in the moment, I wouldn't even be contemplating 7 days. And if I wasn't contemplating 7 days, I would have just stuck to my initial plan. And that was to break my fast on Monday with Alex, which I still might do. It all depends on this hunger. It's just not going away. And most of the literature I've read on this and the videos that I've watched on this, they say that the hunger should be gone by now, but there are cases where people have to endure it all the way through. So whether I'm one of them or not, I don't know. Green tea helps. Sip it on the green tea. Helps with the hunger. And I always wake up a lot at night. And I found each time I wake up at night and I come out and do what I need to do, I'm not hungry. And I'm not hungry when I go on my walk either. I just did my walk around in the sunshine for an hour and a half and I was only mildly hungry then. And it's coming and going, but when they say it comes in waves, it's more like it subsides in waves. Because I'm spending maybe 10% of my time where I'm not hungry, where you get these respites from it. Now, this is the thing, you come into psychological and all the rest of it as well. But this is real. I'm hungry, my stomach's growling, the thunderstorm's raging within. And that's, mentally, I'm really locked in. Mentally, I know I can do it. But my mental stamina right now cannot deal with this hunger for another 4 days. To think that I'm not even halfway through this feeling, you know. Energy's good, motivation's good, my anxiety is incredibly low. I feel a great sense of hope. But on that, you know, when you go out and you come home, and some people it might be, you get to come home and you have a beer, right? It's your reward. I know when I was working, I used to get home and first thing I would do is I'd walk home is have a drink of water and then I used to have these ham and cheese sandwiches with tomato sauce on them, right? And that was like my reward, right home. I get to eat something, you know, and then you have dinner. And for me, a big one when I get home, particularly when I've done something that requires energy, I like to come home and just have, you know, like a big mug of kefir and drink it through a straw. I really enjoy that. And particularly when you're hungry. Like food is just so good when you're hungry, And that's the thing. I get there and I think to myself, oh, hungry, I get to eat now, And you go, no, I can't. And it just really, I wouldn't say it's depressing, but it's very deflating. That's it. It's deflating. It's like, oh, that's right. And in that moment, you come to resent the fast. But that's where I'm at the moment. If I've made 72, so I'm stoked about that. I'm absolutely stoked about that. You just think, wow, I've made it. I've actually made it to 72. And then it's broken up nice. I'll wake up about 3, 4 o'clock. I'll process that bone broth before I go out. I'll probably head out on my walk about 5 o'clock, back about 6. And then I'll leave here tomorrow about 8:30 to spend my morning with Mum. And then I should be home by about midday, 1 o'clock. But the forecast is really hot tomorrow. So I'm hoping on the way home I'll be able to do my walk in the sunshine for an hour and a half. And then it'll be 2 o'clock before I get home. And then you've only got 5 hours before you go to bed, So tomorrow should pretty well... It's just those break up of things, Like to sit here all day, like I did on Thursday, and I think Friday. No, Friday I was out, that's right. Friday I was out for a lot of the day. But Thursday, the first day, I was home pretty well as early as I get home, about 10:30 or so. And I was home early today because I wanted to get the new video started. And I did. But then at about 1:30, I went out on my walk in the sun. So tomorrow pretty well looks after itself. It's going to be a lot of work, mentally. It's going to be a lot of work to get there, but the steps will... It's a lot easier when you're doing multiple different things on the one day and not just sitting here working on the video. So that's where I'm at. I sit here right now, and if the hunger goes away, I feel like I've got the mental toughness now to complete another 4 days of this. But that's how I feel now. But right now, I've earned the right to shoot for 100 hours. And then I might be sitting here tomorrow night doing the next part of this video, and I might think to myself, because I will make it, like, it'll be a real turn of events tomorrow if I don't make it, even if I am this hungry. Because I just think to myself, at some point, your body's got to go, all right, we accept food's not coming, So now we've got to make other arrangements to find this food, and that's where we tap into stored fat. And what was the other thing I heard? This growth hormone ensures that we don't lose muscle, and your body goes into... Because where I'm at right now, it's either... All right, our body is either programmed to be in a fed state all the time, or it's programmed to endure seasons of famine. And famine's a biblical concept, but I don't know whether it's allegorical or literal, right? And then you got other people who believe in evolution, and they say this is, we're hunter-gatherers and all that sort of stuff. And I really don't know what the truth is, because I look back at the time of creation and I go, well, were mankind always... Because I'm of the view that in Jesus' time, it was every bit as technological as what it is now. They weren't just living in caves and wearing robes, and I don't believe that for a minute. I believe our reality goes in cycles, and it gets knocked down. Something happened around 1812, and then you've got the mud floods and all that as well. So I don't know, like, were Adam and Eve created to... I do like to live off the earth. I do believe we are created for that. I'm a dead set believer in that now, that Whole Foods, the earth provides the remedy. I don't know if it's for all things. It certainly doesn't for mortality. So it doesn't provide the remedy for everything and aging. but it does help with aging. So that's where I'm at right now. Is this a natural thing that I'm doing, or do I believe all this stuff about fasting online and all that? I think I'm gonna continue to have that bit of doubt while I'm still hungry, because I seem to be in a very small minority still being hungry at this time. But anyway, I've earned the right to shoot for the 100-hour gateway tomorrow. And then we go to bed tomorrow night. I'll do this entry tomorrow, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I might even be really, really hungry tomorrow night, and then wake up on Monday, get through my meeting with my friend Alex. Then I've got to I've got an appointment with my auntie in the afternoon, so that potentially breaks it all up as well. And even if I am hungry, and you think on Monday, if I get through day 5 and I'm still hungry, you never know. Day 6, I might not be hungry. That's the thing. It's a day-by-day process, and that's where I've got to stay in the moment. And I've earned the right now to shoot. I've earned the right today to shoot for 100 hours, and today I earned the right and executed the right to shoot for 3 days. And a lot of this literature say that on day 4 and 5 is where this really, really starts to happen. Exciting things, like creating new stem cells and destroying potentially cancerous mitochondria and all this sort of stuff. It's very, very exciting, and you just go, I'm just hungry. I'm just hungry. It'd be really, really nice if that switched off, it'd be a real development. But I'd be not as hungry as yesterday. I've had longer periods of respite, but right now I sit here and I'm bloody hungry. But I'm very, very confident I'll be sitting here again tomorrow night doing another entry. And then after that, I think it's just a matter of, did I break the fast on Monday? Or did I keep going? Then I sit here again on Monday night. But that's not staying in the moment, right? So right now, I've hit 72. I will in 40 minutes. I'm feeling good. I feel switched on. I feel alert. I feel motivated. I feel very, very productive here doing the video. It's just the hunger. It's just the hunger. I feel very confident I'll be back here at this time tomorrow. Which it now is. So it's been really hot today. It's been like well over 30 degrees. It's been super duper hot. And I got a lot of sun today, and I actually, on the face, I look a bit burnt because I laid down today. I laid down in the sunshine and did quintessential sunbaking. So people who don't normally watch my videos, I've just overcome eczema, and it looks like the cure for me was vitamin D. So now, being me, I'm absolutely overdosing on sunlight, and I'm browning up really, really nice. It's good. So last night, I went to bed at my normal time, and my mind was cluttered. And I was just thinking about stupid things. Like, I watched a video on this young bloke did a 7-day fast. And I remember watching it about 6 or so months ago. And I dug it out again, I found it, and I watched him again, and I couldn't stop thinking about him. I don't know why. And then, of all things, the ex-opposition leader here in Australia, Peter Dutton, I was just obsessed with what his electorate was. And it was killing me. It was just driving me mad. And then it finally hit me. I've gone, Dixon. I've gone, right, now I can go to sleep. I go to bed at 7 o'clock, and then we wake up about 3 and go on my morning walk about 4:30. And I'm still awake last night at 10:30, and that hasn't happened in a couple of years. It's been a long, long time since I haven't been able to go to sleep. And it was a rough night. Once I got to sleep, it was okay, but I am waking up constantly at night time at the moment. It could be all the water that I'm drinking. And I woke up and I just felt flat. and hungover. It felt like a hangover this morning. I felt like I'd been hit by a Mack truck. And I'm like, right, this isn't good. So I meet my mum down at the shops at 9 o'clock, so I leave here about 8:45. And I'm thinking, all right, I've got a 5-hour stretch there I've got to get through. Use my walk wisely. The bone broth is finished. That's all gone. So that's good because I can't smell it. And I made it. I went down, spent my time with mum, and we had a good morning together. And I left there about midday. I really want a liquid that's not watery, like a coffee with milk in it, a kefir, just something that's not watery, because it's all I'm having. Anyway, I go from there and then I do my sun walk out in like 33-degree heat today for an hour and a half. And a couple of times I started to feel really dizzy and queasy. And then when I got back to the car, I finally sat down and went back to the car. I felt really, really lightheaded. And I sat there and I had a drink of water, and that made me feel ill. Like normally about 3 o'clock in the afternoon I have a cup of coffee, and then I have a green tea about 5 o'clock. I had a green tea when I got home this afternoon about 2 o'clock. And I haven't had anything else to drink apart from water since then. I just don't feel like it, And for me, that's amazing, just to not feel like, a cuppa. And I'll get to that. And I got home. And I got to about 3 o'clock. I just finished my green tea. And I'm just sitting here and I'm working on the main video, I'm working on the main video. I'm sitting here and I'm going, I can't do this. I really can't do this. The commitment, like the voice inside today has just been all about just get through the day, Brett. Have an early day, have an early night. So I'm going to go to bed pretty much after I finish recording here now. It's going to be daylight for another hour or so, but that's all right. I'm going to have an early night. Just get to bed. Just get to bed and just see if you can sleep tonight. Just see whether this is a symptom of the fasting or whether it was just a once off. Just get to bed. And I got to 3 o'clock and I'm like, all right, bed's 4 hours away. Bed's 4 hours away. I'm thinking, all right. And I really, really got to finish this file. I've got a comment there from Brother Number, which I've got to address before I go out tomorrow. But I'm in no fit state to address that now, Just finish the file. And I finished the file about 5:30, about half an hour ago. I heard somebody say earlier, in a video I watched about fasting, how apple cider vinegar won't break a fast. I thought, okay, that's interesting. And they say it may even help regulate insulin levels. And it may help an upset stomach. I thought, okay. And I got it out, I poured it out, as I make my own here, so. And that's where you're uncertain, because I make my own. And I got it out this morning, and I just couldn't do it. I thought, if there's any chance, like the thought that I'm not in autophagy because I had a nip of apple cider vinegar, just, oh, man. So I thought, all right, no, don't do it. And I went and had my morning with Mum. And Mum ordered a carrot cake today. I said to her, you ordering food, are you? And she said, yeah, carrot cake. I said, I'm happy for you. And it just looked divine, I'm not into cakes, but I tell you, a cake right now would be all right. Am I punishing myself? What am I doing now? What am I doing? I'll get to that. And I've got batches in there. And I've got a batch that I did on the 10th of August. And I've almost finished it. but it didn't ferment as long. And then I've got a batch there from about early September. September, yeah. So it's 3 months old, and it grows scobies. It's grown about 2 or 3 scobies on it. I blended the first one in, and then the subsequent ones I just mix it back in, and each couple of weeks it makes another SCOBY. And I'm like, that's ready. That's ready. Because I asked the AI that, how do I know when my apple cider vinegar has no sugar? And it said when it's doing SCOBY. I thought, all right. And it's vinegary. It's really, really vinegary. It's really good. It's really, really tasty. I love it. I love my own vinegar that I make. It's terrific. So I did that about 4 o'clock. I had it in this glass. So this is like 500ml glass. So I think in America that would be like, there's 28, I think, mils to an ounce or something. So 3.5, 3 3/4 times that by 5. So at least 15 ounces. And they reckon you mix that with 8 ounces, which would be about a cup here in Australia, 250ml. So it's double that, so it's well diluted. I put my diet light salt in it. I put salt and the apple cider vinegar and the rest water. And it's helped. It's really helped settle my stomach. Today's been dominated with just being tired. And that's why I've been so determined to get through today. Because I have a good night's sleep tonight and I feel reasonable tomorrow with only minimal hunger. I really want to get through 5, because a lot of the literature is like, that's when you really get stem cell regrowth and all that. So I really want to get through 5, which is tomorrow. But I'm not going to be stupid. If this hunger persists, I'm not going to be able to do this tomorrow. So I'm even still prepared to take a thermos of bone broth tomorrow and have that when I go with Alex and take my nuts. But I'll make that decision before I go out. If I feel all right, I'm not going to take it with me, because then I'll get tempted. And I think I've got taking my auntie to the doctor tomorrow at about 1 o'clock. So I'll leave here about 12:30. So I've got these things during the day where it could potentially break up the day again. And before I know it, I'll be sitting here again tomorrow night at 5 days. That's 120 hours. And that's when they reckon the real good stuff happens with it. So it's still 1 day at a time. It's very, very fickle though. I got to about 2 o'clock this afternoon, as I was saying before. And I'm like, I can't do this. I seriously can't do this. And I was this close to go into the fridge and make it some bone broth. And if I had have done that, I wouldn't be sitting here now. The first thing I thought of when I decided to get that bone broth this afternoon was, it's going to be all over, and will you respect yourself in the morning? And then I thought about sitting in front of Alex tomorrow, and then I went, oh damn, the video. I won't be able to upload this video because it'll be under 100 hours. Oh no. But it's worked out good, because here I still am, you know. Whole thing just hinges now on sleeping tonight. That's what it's all about. I'm just going to sit down in my little red chair there now. What are we now? 6. It's only 10 past 6. Have 10 or so minutes sitting down on my chair and then hit the cot. But it is hot. It's really, really hot. So I'm up against it, but I don't want it to get in my head. I just want a normal routine, go to bed and see how it goes. But 11 o'clock tonight, 5 hours time, I hit 100 hours, and in 1 hour I hit 96, of which was not even on my radar when I started this Wednesday night. Wasn't even on my radar. So just to give it context, I started the fast 7 o'clock Wednesday night, and it's now 6 o'clock Sunday night. So I've got 3 days from this moment. It doesn't seem long, but it does to me. It seems a lifetime to me. I keep thinking to myself, it's not every day that you wake up and you're 4 days into a fast. That doesn't happen every day. Like, I may not ever get back here to this point. This has been psychological warfare all the way through. It's been well worth it. And today I've literally put myself, I've been to hell and back today. And even the sun walk, I think, was that a mistake? But the cold shower worked. It worked. I got back out here and I'm like, yep, all right. And my green tea was still hot from when I made it before the shower, that's right. And I just picked that up and drank that and gave the bone broth a miss. And boy, am I glad I did. Boy, am I glad I did. I just hope and pray tonight that I can sleep. But I don't pray for outcomes. Everything's the will of the Holy Spirit. And the thing is, I started just to watch a Bible video about fasting. And the way they started it was, as Christians, we give up things that we love to get closer to the Holy Spirit. And I thought, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing this to get closer to the Holy Spirit. I'm doing this for my own personal health benefits, which in turn is for the Holy Spirit, because that'll make me a more efficient soldier of faith. But my reasons here are purely selfish, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, you can still do things, from my point of view, I can still do things that are good for me without it being testimony. I just can't give God the glory for it, because it's the work of my own hands, and for me that's worshipping a false Jesus. But I sleep well tonight, you know. That's the thing, you sleep well tonight, you wake, you feel good tomorrow morning, you give God the glory, but you have a crappy night's sleep and you're hungry as all buggery, you're not giving God that glory. So I'm not that simple-minded about all those things. But the cold shower worked. And then I come out and finish my green tea, and I've had a good productive afternoon with the video. I've got the file done. And now tomorrow morning I've just got to go for my walk and do this comment from Brother Number. And then I'm off to see Alex. And then I think I'll go to the price line down here at Lake Haven and just check my blood pressure again. Because it was so high. I'll just check that again. And then I'll come straight home and try and do another file on the video. And then before I know, it'll be time to go out and see Arnie and take her to the doctor. And I won't be back from there till about 3 o'clock. And then I've got those last 4 hours before I go to bed again, you know. Like, I leave here tomorrow and everything is okay. It's not too bad. And I am still fasting. I'm very confident I'll be sitting here again tomorrow night. And then you get to day 5 tomorrow night, and then I get conflicted. It's like, all right, day 5's a fabulous achievement. It's a full working week without eating. But you're only 2 days away. 2 days away from 7, you know. But anyway, that's a fight for tomorrow. So today I've earned the right to try and achieve day 5. And today, because yesterday I earned the right to push for 100 hours, I've now earned the right to, I fulfilled that, and now I've earned the right to go into day 5. So tomorrow I'm looking to earn the right to go into day 6. At day 6, you just think, wow. The other thing too is, because I started the fast at 7 o'clock when I go to bed, I've got to wait until Thursday morning before I can eat. So it's not, you know, it's another 8 hours after, it's another 9 hours after. So I go on my walk first. And I can't not go on my walk. I've gone on that walk 710 days in a row. I'm not stopping that sequence now. No, not for this, no way. But it's all one step at a time, you know. I'm quite hungry, and I just hope that's not what kept me up last night. It was more my brain, you know. It was difficult on Friday night to get to sleep because I was hungry. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I don't think I've left anything out. I was this close though, man. I was this close to giving up today. And I thought, no, just try something, Brett. Don't give up so easy. Come on. You've got Alex in the morning. You'll wake up and it's all over. and you won't be able to upload this video. There must be another way. You're only 4 hours from bed, mate. Come on, try something. So I went to bed. I went down a shower. I haven't mentioned this, but twice today, I've had to go in and lay on the bed for about 20 minutes. Just lay there. Just lay there. No phone, no stimulation, no nothing. It's a lovely quiet day here. There's no noise here today. And all I could hear was the birds and the hum of the air conditioner out the back. And I never do that. Not even when I used to get hungover. When I used to get drunk and hungover, I never used to do that. Never done it. That's where I've been at today. I'm cooked today, absolutely cooked. You can see in my face, probably, I don't know if it comes up or not, I'm cooked in my face. And I feel like that inside. If I don't have a good night's sleep tonight, I'm not going to talk like that. What I am going to do for sure, unless something major happens here, I will be sitting in front of Alex tomorrow at 109 hours. And then we just go from there. Whether I take the thermos in or not, I don't know. It all just depends on tonight. It's now 22 hours later. It's now a Monday afternoon. It is the 15th of December, and it's just coming up to 4 o'clock in the hour here on the New South Wales Central Coast. So, at bed last night, just after I recorded, about an hour after, 20 minutes after I finished recording, and I slept well. I was a bit worried when I first went to bed because I was tossing and turning, couldn't get comfortable, and deep down, it's like you're trying to convince yourself you're not going to sleep again. It's all very, very weird. But as I was trying, the fast hasn't fixed my throat. No, it certainly hasn't fixed that. But as I was trying to get to sleep, I wear blue tack in my ears when I go to bed, have been for years, because if I hear a person's voice, I can't sleep. It's just who I am. It's just what I am. I've always been like it. I've slept through thunderstorms. I've slept through cars when that little white car was there, its doors slamming constantly. I've slept through so many things, but when it comes, someone talks and I can hear it, I'm awake straight away. It's always been the same. I'll hit the earplugs in, and sometimes you can hear your pulse and it goes bang, bang, bang. And generally you just jig the earplugs around and you can generally fix it. Last night I couldn't, and that heart rate was so fast. Like, I measured it before just on my pulse like that, and it come up high 70s, low 80s. And I thought, that seems a lot for me. I was pretty well at rest. I thought, that seems a lot for me. Generally mine's around 70, a bit under. So I thought, all right, I've got an elevated heart rate here. So I thought, all right, I'll take them out. And as soon as I took them out, I heard a little girl out the back scream. So I thought, all right, I've got a choice. A little girl screaming or a pulse in my ear. I pick the pulse in my ear every day of the week. And I'm laying there and I could hear this pulse, and it's just boom, boom, boom. And it's too fast and it's just thumping. It is so loud, this pulse. I thought, this is not good. This is not good. And I did the blood pressure test on Saturday, and it was in the red. It was really high, and I've never had a reading like that. So I thought, all right. So Saturday, when I took that, I would have been 36, about 40 odd hours in, I think. No, I don't know. I started Wednesday afternoon, so 24 hours was Wednesday night. Yeah, 36, it would have been about 40 hours. And my blood pressure was up. So whether that's because of the fast or not, I don't know. I'm just going to check it again later this week, and then do it again at Tugger on Saturday and just see what it's like. And if it's still elevated, I'll make an appointment to see the doctor. So I slept really, really well. Slept soundly. I was up a lot, but I always am, but it didn't stop. I've had a good night's sleep, and I slept from like 7 to around 3, something like that, and it was good. I woke up feeling refreshed and good compared to yesterday. But as I got up and I moved around, getting ready to go for my walk, I thought, I'm not overly hungry, but it's like a dull hunger. But I just felt unwell. I felt really, really unwell. And I did that walk, and I was so ginger on the walk, and I walked so slow, because I felt frail. And I got back to the car, and I'm like, I'm going to break this. I think I've had enough, because I felt unwell. And I felt like I could have been doing damage, and my eyes were shot. Eyes are good now, like back to sort of where they were before. 52, my eyes, they're not perfect, But every time I have a fast, it affects them. They generally come good, but it didn't last time, a couple of months ago. But this time they don't appear to come out any worse. But they were shot. I was on the computer here yesterday processing that file, and I had the glasses on the whole time. So I'm feeling crook, unwell, fatigued. And I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? And then I thought, if this was day 7, could I do it? I'm like, yeah, I could. But I keep saying every day, if I feel like this again tomorrow, I can't keep doing this, And the hunger subsided, but it came in waves, but it certainly wasn't as bad as day 2, 3, 4. So today's day 5. But I just felt queasy, and what clinched it for me was I had my apple cider vinegar with my salts and mixed in water, and I just didn't want to have it. Last night I really enjoyed it. I just didn't want to have it. I didn't have a black coffee. I didn't have a green tea. I literally had nothing from the moment I woke up to the time I went out to Alex, apart from water. And even water, it was making me feel queasy, And I think this isn't good. I'm not in a good place here. So I came home, and I'm like, all right, I'll make a decision here. I Googled what would be the impacts, what benefits would I miss if I break my fast at 100 hours. And the main one is that you're going into deep stem cell regeneration, and you're going to miss the real deep benefits of the autophagy. But a lot of it was evidence that it's not confident research. They're not confident in it, right? And I got back here, and I'm like, I'm a mess. I really am a mess. Like, I just watched that back last night, and I was a mess. It really came through to me just how bad I felt. I was gone. I thought, I'm not functioning, man. I'm just not functioning. And I think I break it when I'm with Alex, and that gives me 109 hours. And by anyone's standards, unless you're a hardcore faster, by majority of people's standards, that's a very successful fast, and it certainly is for me. Because I can't remember what the goal was going out, starting it. I just wanted to do another fast, because I haven't done one in a couple of months. I haven't been doing any intermittent fasting at all. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And I know 100 days started to become apparent to me during the fast. It was certainly not my intent. I didn't feel like I was ready for that, And that's what I said to myself this morning. I thought, I'm not ready for 7 days. I haven't put in the groundwork, I would have thought to do a 7-day fast, you've got to be really used to intermittent fasting, which I was, but I stopped that quite a while ago now. I get the years mixed up, but probably over 12 months ago, I stopped intermittent fasting. And me being me, gradually those meals have gone backwards, and I've only been not eating from 7 o'clock at night till I have my chia seeds at 5. So that's only 10 hours. It's not long enough, So I'm thinking, okay, how do I stretch that out now by about 4 hours? And I think I found the solution to that. As I said before, I have my dinner for breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's what I'm going to do. So I plotted around here, feeling like crap. And I'm like, all right, make a rational decision, Brett. Make a good rational decision, a decision that you're going to be comfortable with forever. Weigh it up. Weigh it up. How are you going to feel? If you break it, how are you going to feel Wednesday night? Are you going to look back at this moment and go, if only I had have kept going? For me, that moment passed yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock when I went and had the cold shower and I laid in my bed for half an hour. That moment passed because that was the moment where I went no, and I really dug in. And I thought, have a sleep tomorrow and see how you feel. And I woke up this morning and I felt hungover and I felt like a truck had hit me. It felt just like the old days. I thought, this can't be good, man. I'm not meant to feel like this. I wouldn't have thought. So I made the decision and I made my bone broth and I went on into Lake Haven. And I've been craving milk, cacao, peanut butter and bone broth. So I got the Lake Haven. I went straight to Woolies. I bought a jar of peanut butter and a block of cacao. And I walked up to Alex. I said, guess what? Well, I said, I'm still fasting. He said, really? Yeah. How long? I said, 109 hours. I've been going since Wednesday night. And I said, I've decided to break it with you here now, my friend. And he was like, wow, okay. Excellent, right? And I pulled out of my bag, I said, the things I've been craving. I said, I've been craving bone broth, and I put my thermos on the table. I said, I've been craving cacao, and I slapped it on the table. And finally, peanut butter, and I slapped it on the table. And I poured that bone broth, and I put a generous piece of butter in it. Bone broth is so much nicer with butter. And I noticed the first 2 sips, whether it's psychological or not, I don't think so, and I certainly hope not. I'd hate to think that I'm believing a lie, so badly, All I want's the truth. And I felt like the colour come back into my inner man, everything just switched on again. And I said to Alex, I said, everything that I've been feeling rubbish about is now coming good. I don't feel hungry anymore. 3 sips of bone broth, And I was really, because I've got this stainless steel thing out there and it keeps it hot. It keeps it hot for ages, right? You can be sitting on the one drink for like 2 hours and don't go cold. It's perfect. But I was draining this, And I've had a look on Google, and bone broth is full of electrolytes and full of minerals. And to me, I'm quite convinced that's what I was lacking. And that's the regret. That's the absolute regret of this, is that I haven't researched those basic minerals you need while you're fasting. So I'm going to hop to that and get that remedied straight away. Because they're so hard to find, particularly potassium, it's so hard to find. And I just found that diet white salt, I just hated the taste. I absolutely hated it. And I tried to put it in that drink and not in my tea. And I got to a point this morning, I couldn't even look at black coffee. Nah, couldn't look at it. And green tea, it just made me feel ill. Even water, I just didn't want to drink anything, Even the thought of eating really started to affect me as well in a bad way. So I broke it with the bone broth. And then Alex went to work about 9 o'clock, so that was over a period of about an hour and a half. And then I went to the chemist down there and I had a look at my blood pressure and it's still high. So I thought, all right. And blood pressure's meant to come down during a fast, so I don't know. And then I went into Coles and bought, I don't even know now. I needed something. Oh yeah, I found wild. I wanted to look for wild caught salmon, and I've actually found something. I just had it. It's absolutely delicious. Wild caught salmon. Oh boy, it's good. It's pricey, But it's very, very nice, and they reckon it's very, very good for you. I wanted that and something else. I can't remember. It was important at the time. I bought two things. I don't know. And then I went to the coffee shop and I got myself a flat white, and I absolutely drained that. And while I was there, I had my 75 grams of nuts and I had 2 pieces of cacao, 2 like squares of the cacao chocolate. And that was it. And then I come back here and I had another bone broth. I had like a small teaspoon of peanut butter, another block of cacao, and then I took my auntie to the oncologist. And then I've only been home from there about an hour, and then I had 3 eggs with some mushrooms and about 80 grams of the red salmon, wild caught salmon. And then I've just had my golden bevy, and that's it now. I'm going to go back to the intermittent fasting. It was important today that I intermittent fast. I do it, So finish eating by 4 o'clock, which I achieved, and then break the fast tomorrow at 6 o'clock with my chia seeds, and then have breakfast at about 1:15 just after that. I don't know how that's going to sit with having the chia seeds, then my lamb's heart and steak. I don't know how that's going to sit, but we'll just see how it goes. And what I know I was doing, I'd completely given up on intermittent fasting because it all just becomes so hard, because some days I'm not getting home until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you want to finish eating by 4 o'clock, you come home, you're absolutely starving, and you just eating, to get your nutrients in, or everything's rushed and you can't really enjoy it. But I'm thinking what I'm doing is that I'm doing nothing based on the worst circumstance. So what I've got to do is do the intermittent fasting, but just understand that I'm not going to do it every day, and don't worry about it. So that's what I'm like. I'm just all or nothing, and that's what I'm going to do now. So like, say I get home at 2 o'clock one day, just don't worry about it, Have your last meal at 5 o'clock. Have it at last meal at 6 o'clock. It doesn't matter. As long as that's the exception rather than the rule. So that's what I'm going to start doing. So tomorrow's the start of my new routine, and this afternoon really, because I'm back into fasting now. And what I intend doing, the plan going forward, is I want to intermittent fast regularly, close to every day, as many days as I can. Looks like it's going to be 14. I may get it longer. There's some days I'll go out a bit later, like on Sunday, so I'll be able to eat later. And if I can manage on the Saturday to stop eating a little bit earlier, then I can have a long window there, right? And that's the thing, it's just subject to my circumstance and the day I've had each day, right? So I'm going to do that, and then I'll become more used to intermittent fasting again, and I want to every week, I don't know when I'll do it first, but it's got to be sooner rather than later, but I do want to recover from this fast yet, and I want to do a 36-hour fast as close to once a week as I can. I'm thinking about doing it every day, every time I do gym. I try to do gym every 10 days. I was doing it a week, but I just don't think I need to after all these years. I don't need to, because I'm still getting stronger in the gym, even though I vowed I didn't want to and I wouldn't be lifting heavier weights anymore. I'm still getting stronger in the gym, and I'm only doing it every 10 days. And I think when you fast and you're also doing gym, it really, really makes it a lot easier, because food gets in the way, because you don't want to be doing the gym on an empty stomach. And generally when I do gym, I do 2 workouts in one day and then the third the next day. So I think that could work. So say, the day I fast, I then do gym. So I get home from when I go out, say 10 o'clock, and I'm fasting, and I get straight into gym, and that sort of takes me through to midday. And I'm pretty much close to the end of the 36-hour fast. Because that's all it is. 36-hour, a 24-hour fast may as well be 36 if you do it properly. So you finish eating around the time 12 hours, the corresponding 12 hours before you get out of bed. And so those last 4 hours you get, and then the next day you get the full 24 hours. And that sort of gives you the 36 when you go to sleep and all that. But if you start at the start of the day, you then got to go through halfway through the next day. And I always try to do it with 2 sleeps. And it always, if you do that, it always gives you a few more hours as well. So that's how I try and do everything. You'd rather be fasting when you're sleeping rather than awake, you know. So that's sort of the plan. And then from there, I want to try and do a longer fast. I don't even want to think about it now, but it'll happen. I'll get the urge. And I want to try and do an extended fast at least once a year, but maybe even, you know, a 48. 48 doesn't seem so difficult now. 48, 36, you know. You just got to be strategic about it, and you've got to like give yourself a couple of days to best set yourself up. Because you go, well, if I started then, when I first wanted to do it, I'd be finished by now. But you're not setting yourself up for success. You've got to plant the seed, and then you've got to go for it and execute it properly. And priority now is to absolutely understand how, like, what minerals you need to be getting when you're fasting. Is understand there's more minerals other than electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So I want to get something like that in. It's very, very hard to buy potassium around here. Impossible. And that diet light salt's not the answer. So I want to, before I do anything, I want to get that sorted. But what are the impacts been? I sat down in front of Alex this morning. He said, I've definitely lost weight on my face. He said it's quite tangible. And he said it makes sense. You don't eat for 4 days, you're going to lose weight. So that tells me I've probably lost weight off my body as well. And that wasn't the prime reason, certainly a reason to do it, but the main reason is because I really want to destroy this eczema once and for all, and I really want that system reboot and that like immune system reboot, and also that internal cleaning. And although I don't feel any different, I've just got to be confident that's what's happened. So absolutely glad I did it. It's something I'm always going to remember. We'll never forget it. And I feel like I've grown as a man. I feel like I know I've got to really understand my inner man more. And I've shown to myself that I'm strong, can be strong when I need to be, when the chips are down to be strong. That was a huge victory yesterday afternoon. And it's funny, 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, that's when I finished my first extended fast at 50 hours. I finished at 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. So I was conscious of that as well. And I think, would I recommend anyone else try it? I know with intermittent fasting, 2 years ago, I lost a stack of weight very, very quickly. If you want to lose weight, intermittent fasting, 16-8, high protein, low carbs, works a charm. But would I recommend anyone else do it? If you are thinking about it, absolutely. But if you're not thinking about it, you know, I wouldn't, you know. But it's something that's been important to me for a long time. And I do, before I die, I absolutely want to do a 7-day fast. But I don't want to, that's not the yardstick, you know, before I die, because if you do that, you're never going to do it, because you've still got 30, for me, 50 years to be able to do that. So I certainly want to do that. Hopefully, I'd love to do it in the next year, like next year, 2026. But at the moment, I can't even begin to face that. I've got to get more ready. I've got to be more prepared next time. Those minerals were big. It was just, there was something lacking, because as soon as I had that bone broth, everything that was making me feel crook had just gone away, and I just felt like all the colour came back to me, and I was instantly healed. It was just incredible. It was just instantaneous. And then I was functioning again, felt good. I was walking briskly again, felt motivated, felt good, felt strong. All from a cup of bone broth. Because that's all I had while Alex was sitting there. And then I got up, didn't get dizzy when I got up, and I felt good. So this won't be a video where I'm going to be doing a full body pose before and after. I'm not going to tell you how much weight I lost or anything like that, because I don't know. I haven't got scales. Scales drive me mad. But it was just a diary entry type video just to share my experience as someone who's not a Freemason, somebody who's not selling something, somebody who hasn't got a program, just sharing my experience. It'll be up there on YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, so I don't want to give away what I did before anyone watches. So it'll be something. Of course, it'll be something, but a worthwhile experience. I feel quite proud of myself. I feel good about myself, and I look forward to the next opportunity where I get to do this. Well worthwhile. And it's just enabled me to reset my body, but also my eating pattern, and allowed me to really call myself out on some serious home truths where I was just getting this all wrong. Whole food diet, everything's good. No, it's about timing as well. And it's always about your relationship with food. What's your relationship with food? Refeeding is complex because you're sick of being hungry, really sick of being hungry, and all you want to do is eat. Alex shared the story of he was in hospital once, he was nil by mouth for 4 days, and he said as soon as he got out of hospital he just gorged on McDonald's, and he said he just broke out in really bad acne. You got to be careful. There's a thing called refeeding syndrome, which I haven't really looked into, but I guess it's fairly apparent what that might be. And I was really conscious of that. So I haven't had much today. I don't feel hungry at all. I feel the best I've felt since Wednesday afternoon before I started. I never felt good the whole way through. Never felt good. You hear these stories of people going into this God mode and they don't get hungry and it becomes easy and it's a joy and it's a delight and allows you to get closer to the Creator and all that. I was just miserable the whole way through, absolutely miserable. And I was just fighting what my body was telling me to do the whole way through. Because I think about, I absolutely don't believe in evolution. I'm a creationist to the core, always have been. And you go, were we created to be cavemen and live off the land? I'm 50-50 on that, because I'm of the view that the time of Jesus was every bit as technologically advanced as now. I'm of the view that everybody was walking around with phones and all the rest of it, because I'm of the view that all these things happen in cycles. And then there's an end of age. God from heaven dictates this end of age. And men build. Men are very, very intelligent creatures, You think about skyscrapers and some of these bridges and things that get me, these pylons that go deep in the water and all that, it just makes me marvel. So you go, are we designed to be hunters and gatherers? I don't know. Because I don't even know if Adam and Eve were real. They could be allegorical, because the whole Bible's allegorical and it's steeped in allegory. And then you've got all of these terms that they're a mighty hunter of the field and all that. And to me, that just means they were hunting souls. It doesn't mean they're out there with spears and sticks. And in the time of Jesus, I'm not seeing that they were walking around in long robes in some little sort of land. So to me, the whole notion that we're designed in a certain way to endure long fasts, I'm far from convinced about that, But the research to me appears quite uniform about this autophagy in the timeline. Every video I've watched about it, every one of them are consistent. There's no dissenting voices in this at all. So that tells me either there's a great big lie going on, or this science is, because science isn't to be discounted. Science is a very noble endeavour and a necessary endeavour, but the creatures running the world, they use it to spread lies. Like they use, science to say about, gravity and physics and all that, and it's just rubbish. It's all just rubbish. But science is real. Science is absolutely real. So that's where I'm at. So thank anybody who's watched for watching. That's my experience. and I've got to say, I'm extremely glad I did it, but I'm just as glad that the whole thing's behind me. So come Wednesday night, there can be no regret.